Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds, by nerds, hanging with these nerds.
Nathan Nerdarchy.
Unearthed.
And it's that time again for quests and adventures, and we got a packed one, or at least we're giving stuff away anyway.
It's packed full of stuff we're giving
You're
away.
giving away a lot of stuff anyway.
So we, fresh from PAX, we played some games.
Yeah, we hung out there all week. They're like, why won't you guys leave? It ended Sunday at 7 p.m. We're like, we're Nerdarchy. We do what we want to do.
Yeah, so PAX was the reason we didn't have a live chat last week. We just couldn't see you make it happen.
There just wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
Well, there was complications. I'm just saying. So it turned out like we couldn't park anywhere within like 6 blocks of PAX Unplugged. So it turned out that public transportation was much easier since we're commuting back and forth each day. And carrying all of the filming equipment
A half mile.
Yeah, and then having to deal with it all day seemed like a huge pain in the ass.
So we apologize for that. It was not our intent to skimp out on the live chat. I know you guys like hanging out with us, and we like hanging out with you guys. So,
sorry, I was just reading the comments. They're coming in.
But we did have a lot of fun at PAX. I really enjoyed it. It was cool to see so many game designers and game players. I mean, you walk, there was like over 50% of it was people playing games at tables. So I thought that was really awesome.
that was
Someone says their audio is not working. It looks like we're getting audio on our end. Everything is reading a go. Is that anybody else? Anybody else not getting audio? Only one person said they're not getting audio. Are you laughing at Excalibur?
Yeah. Xanathar.
Yeah. Yep, we can hear you. All right, sorry, one dude that isn't getting audio.
that must be a problem on your end.
Yeah, although it could totally be a problem on our end any given day.
Yes. Yeah.
Just not today.
So
So PAX Unplugged. What did you guys? I was surprised how small it was. I thought it was going to be bigger. And especially after going Origins and Gen Con, and look, I know everyone's going, but it's their first one. I'm like, it's their first one, but they do 5 or 6 a year. It's their first Unplugged. But PAX is like a big deal, and they kind of know what they're doing over there. So I feel like they can't say it's our first one.
well, it's possible that they were limited by the space of the convention center itself. Now that place is massive, so they could have gone into other areas.
Yeah, there was unused space, and it was the same weekend as the marathon.
So it could have been the fact that they chose that weekend. It was competing against other things, and they couldn't deal with that. Now, you say you were expecting bigger. The conventions that I'm used to going to
that was big
are smaller.
Yeah.
This was bigger.
Dude, Gen Con and Origins, they're like con cities. So I don't know.
No, I mean,
I've been ruined. I'm done. I cannot convention anymore.
He's already a convention snob, and it hasn't even been 2 years.
I know, right? I've been to like 2, and I'm already a snob.
Well, Origins started in June, July.
Yeah, June I went to Origins, and then August.
So 6 months.
Yeah,
6 months, and you're already ruined.
I'm ruined.
Well, you went
I'm
to
used
the
up.
the 50th anniversary of Gen Con, which consistently has a running space.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of knows, just go back to here, it'll be there. And Origins is a consistent one too, as well, isn't it?
Now, the conventions that I've been to are literally at hotels, and Steampunk is actually over the course of 2 hotels. So the vending space is very spread out, very open, and some of the vending spaces literally in hotel rooms. They move the beds and what have you. So you go into a location and the stuff is all spread out, and you can go and meet. And by stepping into the room, you don't have the crowd around you. So you can, talk and do things a lot easier. Whereas at PAX, there was this din that was constant. So it was,
well, most of it was also in an open space.
Yeah.
And then they kind of partitioned off. I mean, except for they did have some theaters and stuff set up for, everything was themed, and the Dragon Theater, I think, was the big room where they were having events, and they had a couple others.
It was the Dire Rat Theater, the Dragon Theater.
Yeah. For anyone joining, no, we have not announced the winner yet. Obviously, we're gonna wait and do that later into the show. Before we do that,
The winners.
We have to the winners. We have 3 winners: 2 for Xanathar's Guide and 1 for a custom No Marks dice box, which is pretty sweet.
So we're also going to announce what we're giving away for December. Usually we do it earlier in the month, but we got a pretty big bundle to show off, and then next week we'll pick a winner for that.
Yeah, let's start with that. This is just our thanks for being fans. If you're a patron, you're automatically entered, or you can go to nerdarchy.com and see our contest page. There's also a link to it in the description, and you can mail in an entry if you want.
All right,
or you can just spend $1 at Patreon, which is probably way easier.
We spoke to Brent from Studio Woe at PAX. He's got a really great game called Gruff, and this is the base game. We have Rage of the Trolls and Clash of the Battle Goats. Now, I forget which one is which, but one of them is the first expansion, second expansion. But
one of them you can't buy.
The second expansion you can't get just yet. It went through Kickstarter and it's been going, but we're gonna give all of this away. And because it's a giveaway, he's like, "Yeah, no problem, you can do it." You get a cool play mat to go along with it.
We may be holding it upside down or not.
Well, it's
it plays the other way.
Yeah, you play side to side with it. Dave and I both got to test out this game at PAX.
So you are like a wizard goat herder that mutates goats and attacks the other guy with them. So your goal is to kill one of their goats so you can get through and kill their wizard with your mutated goat. And like you get to mutate them more. As your character gets crazier, he can do crazier mutations to them. It was a really fun idea when it was pitched to me at Origins, and because I had met him at one of the bars, he's like, "Hey, I recognize that beard from across the room," and we're talking a little bit. And when I saw his booth, I was like, "I gotta find that guy again."
Right.
And so that was really cool. He donated those for a giveaway.
But we're not through yet. You're not going to get just the game. You're not going to get just the expansions. You're not going to just get the battle mat. We're also going to throw in how you spell it? Ixalan. X marks the spot. It was an adventure that was available at PAX. Magic D&D crossover. Really cool stuff. Artwork is fun and interesting within this. So you're going to get all of that stuff. So if you want to get all of that, send in the form or join us on Patreon, and do so before next Friday, because Saturday we pick the winner.
We do. Also, too, I think Doug's kind of mentioned in the chat, maybe, but we do have a special announcement during the live chat on Monday. We're going to be having Adam Bradford on it once again from D&D Beyond. So, but we can't really talk about what's going on with that yet, or they'll send ninjas or something. Curse ninjas.
I don't want to go after curse ninjas.
No, you don't go after curse ninjas. They go after you.
Well, okay. I don't want curse ninjas coming after me.
But yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool on Monday. So I'm very excited for that. I believe Tuesday we got Bruce Cordell coming on.
Nice.
I don't forget who the rest of the week is. I know I got Monday, Tuesday. I can't think that far out.
Tune in later to find out.
Yeah. Oh no, I believe Aaron from Jetpack 7's coming back as well. Their Kickstarter is now launched with it's like Masters and Minions or something like that. I know when I had him on for the previous live chat and we were talking about stuff, and he's like, this thing's coming up. People were pretty excited in the chat when they went and looked at just the preview page, which had barely anything on it yet. So I'm excited to see what comes of that as well.
Nice.
So have you been monitoring the chat? Do you have anything going on over there?
They're discussing what DDB means, and Doug's answered that, so it's all good.
D&D Beyond.
Yes.
Perfect.
Because the live chat goes away, so I'm watching this later.
Yeah.
Excaliburst LPS. What small additions are your favorite from Xanathars? He really likes the new flight rule. It's a small clarification, but he feels like it adds a lot.
We are still reading through, so I cannot pick out a favorite yet.
There's a lot of stuff in there, and there's only so much time that I can consume.
Last night I was calculating what level spell slot you needed to use to hurl one goblin at another. It is totally not worth it, but I still want to do it anyway. I think I figured it out. You can do like 8x8 with a goblin or something ridiculous. Well, to both goblins actually. To the goblin you use as the weapon, well, small creature in general, because you have to bump it up pretty much to be able to even hurl 30 pounds.
Oh, all right.
But you also do more damage when you do to whatever you hurl and whatever it gets hurled at. So,
what's that spell called?
Catapult.
Oh yeah.
It's a first level.
Yeah,
spell.
I'm digging the magic, and I'm also digging the magic item economy stuff that's in there.
Not yet, Justin Riley. Not yet. Well, me and Ted just shot the cleric subclasses today, as well as we talked about the encounter. Sorry, we talked about the encounter stuff that's going to go up. So those videos you can expect this week, probably Monday, maybe. Earlier we also did a video on the Loft patron from Mike Merles. He did a write up on that, so we talked about that. So we got some things coming up this week. And I have a question for you guys, and we have not did the giveaway yet. Justin, we're going to do that a little bit later. I do have a question for you guys. If you just want to answer with a Y in the chat, do you guys actually go into the description of this video here and look to see what the links are and what we do? I'm just curious, because Ted puts that forth a lot of work every week. I'm wondering if he does it for no reason at all. They're like, nope. But yeah, because obviously we always put links to things that we think are important, as well as the videos we did this past week and the articles on the website this past week. We do, or I should say Ted does a little Kickstarter corner. And, so that's in there as well. Right now, Frog God Games has got a huge Kickstarter going, already kicked. It's going to be a giant monster book, Tome of Horrors. And it's like, I think it's a conversion from, the different editions that they've put this together for. But I think it's going to be pretty big. Also, Frog God Games also has a sale going on until Monday at some point. It's like 30% off or something.
So this is the Pathfinder version of the fourth one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the book they're putting together is all of them.
All 4 books.
Yeah, that thing is going to be insane.
Converted to 5e.
Like, nobody has the balls to build a book as big as Frog God Games. I'll give them that. Like, they're like, what?
Oh, yeah,
we'll put together
they did Blight, right?
Yeah. I'll put together a $200 hardback book. I'm not afraid.
Ain't nothing. It says dictionary size, baby.
And my understanding is the owner of the company actually had a faulty copy of that. And then so he shot it, and the bullet couldn't make its way through. So Frog God Game books may just save your life.
Clip it around your neck, wear it like a necklace.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna end up with scoliosis because of the weight of them. But if a bullet happens to hit you where that book is, you'll probably live.
It's good advice.
It's not good advice. Don't get shot at while wearing it.
You're concerned about the
best
the
defense is never. All right, so it looks like we got a bunch of people that actually does sometimes. We got some sometimes as well.
Well, thank you guys for that, because that makes
and a Z. I'm not sure what the Z means though. Like, we got yeses, we got nos, and we got sometimes, and a Z.
Maybe they're trying to support Nerdarchy.
Yeah, maybe, but there's not many people that know about that.
So if you happen to see me walking around PAX Unplugged, I had my Nerdarchy armor on. I had a custom leather doublet that was made up for me, and the company totally screwed up. They put the N on sideways, a whole bunch of other errors, which is why I refuse to say what company it was that did it. I'm not going to defame them, but I'm also not going to promote them.
So there's a lot of envy for your RPG collection.
Oh,
I guess as more and more of it comes out as
you just reach and pull things.
Yeah.
I think the Blight book, we're probably going to actually give that away at some point. But right now we're kind of hoarding a little bit. We're like,
we got to at the moment we're
we have to get our DNA on it.
We got a lot of stuff a lot of stuff in the giveaway pile. So we'll reevaluate at some point in time and see whether the Blight wants to go to one of you lucky folks out there. So
Joey, Glass Cannon Podcast is nifty. You should team up. We're always open to collaborate with other creators, especially in the space. I've heard the name before, but I'm not really familiar with them. If you happen to be a fan of us and them, you reaching out to them would actually be far more meaningful, or if other fans do as well, than us reaching out to them. I'm like, who are these guys? And then, but you know, so it's always useful if you guys as the fans kind of act like the bridge and be like, hey, it'd be cool if you guys had these guys on, or they do a show, maybe you should go on it. We could definitely hook something up. You know, if you're on Twitter, just tweet at us, tweet at them, and include us, and we can get something going on.
Absolutely.
But we always appreciate those suggestions. Someone had suggested a while back in one of our videos in the comments that we hook up with Gentleman Gamer, which would be awesome. He does great YouTube stuff, and now he's doing official stuff, but I forget who he's working with. But he got picked up by one of the companies because he was talking about all their stuff, and he's a super smart dude.
Cool.
How fun was doing GM tips? Jan wants to know.
It was a lot of fun.
That sums it up. Yeah, no, it was a great time. You know, so some of the things that we got out of doing GM tips was doing GM tips and being on a real set and all that stuff, which was cool. But one of the things I really appreciate is the friendships that have come from that. I mean, literally, my phone isn't in front of me, or I might open up and show you guys. I literally got a text from Rudy Rutenberg last night going, hey, I really appreciate you. And I'm like, you know, I appreciate you too, buddy, man, because the best part about Nerdarchy is the people that we have met. And, you know, some of the people that are now in my Rolodex, you know, from doing Nerdarchy and you know, expanding upon that by doing things like GM tips is super cool. And it's like, now I'm like trying to plan a con schedule for next year, and I'm trying to figure out, like, where are my friends going to be at? You know, in addition to, like, you know, we're kind of always like working when we go to these things, but at the same time also, like, where are my friends going to be at to go hang out with?
So I thought it was a lot of fun from both the getting to meet people on both sides of the equation. You know, we got to meet, you know, Satine. Well, it was the first time I was meeting Satine Phoenix and Rudy Rutenberg. David already, you know, started developing a relationship with them through the live chats and, you know, digital interactions previously. But then going out there, it also enabled us to get together with you guys, the fans, and there was, you know, 24 people who would come from, you know, up to hours away just to be able to hang out with us. So on both sides, I thought that was a really awesome opportunity for us.
Yeah, that was really great too. Like seeing all the different people that were in our fandom, like different age ranges, you know, different ethnicities, different genders, you know. So all of that was super cool to see, like how many different people were reaching and you know, were willing to come and hang out with us and you know, play games with us. So that was super cool.
Absolutely.
We will probably never get tired of talking about that experience. So I did see we do have a question, and someone had also, MD Living, guys, when you have questions, if the word question in front of it or GM911, it makes it so much easier for us to find them. But MD Living had asked, what do you guys think about the Sun Soul Monk? I affectionately refer to that as the Laser Monk. And in my Spelljammer game that I had ran, I guess I ran 3 sessions or 2 sessions.
3 sessions, I think.
Yeah, so I think 3 sessions, and my son had played in it. And he played a halfling. I think he played a Ghostwise halfling Laser Monk. And it worked out pretty good for him until I obliterated his character. But he got better. It's very important.
Problems?
No, I'm just saying, I wanted to see how much the camera, or how much that doesn't look like it's picking it up. Like, we've got someone doing like lawn care work right outside Ted's windows. I think they're doing Ted's lawn. I'm not even sure.
I don't know how that noise is not doing, you know, right out there. It's
well, literally, if you go through that window right there behind this blue screen, like 3 feet over is somebody else's property. So
yeah, it's not.
Well,
very
I think
far.
they're crouching on your territory, because that sounds like right by my head.
And the funny thing is, it doesn't seem like it's picking up from our audio.
Well,
I don't know
good.
if you guys can hear it or not. It's very
Doug
distracting.
says he can hear it.
Yeah.
If you can hear it, I apologize.
Leaf blower. Yeah, it sounds like that, or some kind of like edger or something going on.
Edger, weed whacker.
After we're done, we're going to go build machine gun nests outside of Ted's house. We're going to fix this once and for all.
Laser sharks. Boats with laser sharks.
Nice.
So we have question: advice sought, part of the game with a DM who loves to murder PCs. It's not quite how I like to play. I'd like to evolve my character at least a little before he's executed from falling rocks.
Find the new DM. Literally, there's like, unfortunately, you can talk to your DM, but at the end of the day, there's literally nothing you can do if that's the guy or gal you're playing with. You're kind of, you're kind of boned if they're not willing to have a reasonable conversation with you and be like, hey, I'm looking for something different. Or maybe you can steal the gaming group from them and run for them, or have someone else run or something.
Yeah, if you take a break from that GM and you have somebody else run, then there's a chance that the people will like the play style of the other, like getting another option will open it up to saying, well, hey, we'd rather the new guy who doesn't murder us gets to DM more.
Yeah, or you can always lead by example and run the kind of game you want to play in, and maybe you'll change their mind. Who knows?
That's always a possibility.
So someone asked, TMGR6 question: Hexblade, War Wizard, or Blade Singer? Off the tip of my tongue, I'm going to go War Wizard because I'm playing one now and I'm having fun with that. Both Hexblade and Blade Singer, although the Hexblade is better now, my problem with either one of those is they're a gish, and if you can cast spells or hit something with your sword, you're generally better off just casting the spell. So you have this whole portion of your character that's not nearly as useful. That being said, it could still be fun, but if you're saying what's the best, then I would immediately eliminate those guys.
Yeah.
What's the most fun could be anything you want it to be. I mean, I had a ton of fun with Uthengar when we got Xanathar's Guide, and Ted ran for us like soon after, and I was like, couldn't wait for a fight. And he's like, oh, I got something for you. And I hit him with something he was completely not expecting.
That game was awesome though.
Yeah. What is it? Steel Wind Step or something like that, or Steel Wind Strike.
Yeah.
And so you get like 5 attacks, and you do like 6 die 10 force damage with each one, and I was able to bust that out and then action surge and do it again.
That particular spell got so much, I can't use the word love, but like love and hate in a Facebook
Strong
chat. Yeah. Like they were like, I'm not allowing in my game. This spell is so broken. And I'm like, it hits 5 dudes. You have to make an attack roll. Now, yes, you're using a spell attack. It's not like it's not changed to a melee attack. So you're still going to use your prime stat supposedly for it. But if you compare that to a spell of the same level, which is going to hit a bigger area, it's going to...
Is it the same level as Kona Cold?
Yeah.
Kona Cold's ridiculously powerful.
And well, the other thing too is you have to have at least 5 targets to optimize the spell. It just so happened I did, in that encounter.
Yes.
Which made it great. And just rolling that many dice, you're going to roll at least 120 in there. And that's what made it really good.
So it happened to work out really well. Perfect example for you. For me, it was like, okay, well, yeah, that, you crit on one of them, which is like, all right, that's 12 die 10. And it did, most of the hit points on one dude, took out another guy nearly as well. So like there were 2 guys that were like on death's door from just your action. Now, over the course of your 10 attacks, you missed 4 times because these things had significant armor classes. But, that's just the nature of the game sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm horrible at rolling dice, so I need to roll like a lot of dice or any things like I like Magic Missile a lot for Uthengar because I don't have to make attack rolls. Say with Fireball and things like that.
Yep.
So I definitely see some questions popping up. Ted already knows the answer to this one from Robert Knight. Question: what's your favorite common magical item?
From the book, the Cloak of Billowing.
Real life, he wants it in real life.
Yeah.
I like the shield. I like the emoji shield.
Emoji shield. My kids like emojis. I don't like emojis. I don't want to.
I don't like emojis, but I like the emoji shield.
But yeah, I'd wear a Cloak of Billowing in real life.
Every day.
All the time.
I'm just envisioning Ted on the live chat with a cloak billowing out behind him.
Yeah,
I need a wide angle camera and I need a stand so that the cloak can just billow.
So it can be more epic.
Absolutely.
That makes
not
sense.
not that people go to the bank anymore, but you imagine standing there at the bank and you're inside. There's no wind and your cloak is just.
There's a reason why if you were able to look off set on movies, you'd see a whole bunch of fans all over the place for people's different things because they want it to look cool. What they wanted to do is they wanted to billow. So it's a cool item.
It's definitely a cool item. So Joe Williams, what are some ideas for super magical and whimsical encounters that aren't necessarily combat encounters to add some wonder to a campaign that's been dragging? So I've used the talking tree a lot. I like talking plants.
Yeah, you had singing mushrooms.
Yeah,
Well,
I did have a singing
It
mushroom.
was a talking mushroom. I got it to sing.
Okay.
And it wasn't the bar. It was the illusionist.
So a talking mushroom that can be enticed to sing.
That was pretty fun.
Or
If you add whimsical encounters like pseudo dragons, pixies, sprites, fairies, like these things that are going to be prone to causing a bit of fun, it's not ever a threat because these things have like ridiculously low hit points. So if you have these things that are out there to cause a little bit of mischief, hopefully you'll have players that'll enjoy what's going on and not be like, oh, murder hobo. I swing my baseball bat and kill 3 of them. Like.
I guess Adam was answering Robert Knight as well with the alchemy jug, which is kind of funny because I had a lot of fun with an alchemy jug. I was cheating, I think. I don't think I used it right at all, but it really didn't affect anything. The only thing it affected was how ridiculous I could play the game.
How you role played, not played.
I guess I played the game.
Well, yeah, because it's supposed to be able to create something, but not create anything else for a while. Right.
It's like 2 gallons, but it creates a lot.
But sometimes you just want a little mayo. You don't want an entire jug of
it. Dave played a
turtle drunken master monk.
So he always had alcohol in the jug so that he could always be drunk
and offer it to other people.
Oh, all right.
Including the plant people that.
Although 2 gallons of booze is a lot of freaking booze.
It is, yeah.
Definitely. But I probably was drinking more than that.
Yeah,
So.
I would certainly say that. And I allowed you to go with it because I thought it was comical and it didn't provide a value. So like you took the hit of, okay, well, this is one of the magic items that I get to start with.
That he just uses to produce alcohol.
That he uses it to just produce alcohol.
Just to be, I literally used my magic item to be ridiculous in the game. Much like you did in my game where you used it to disguise a skeleton as a person.
As the beautiful lady she once was and would be again someday with necromancy. So definitely I would say don't go stingy on the rules when you let people have a magic item and they use it for something that's just like enhancing the role-playing aspects of it.
Yeah, if you look at the rule of cool or the rule of fun, if it's not going to break your game, just let it ride.
So Jan asks, are there any other RPG channels you would like to work with, like you did with Geek and Sundry for GM tips? Yeah, well, we kind of do. Maybe not at that level or that production level, but right now we're doing a collab game with called Savor Dice, and that is right now it's encounter role play, web DM, and taking 20. So that's season 2. Season 1 it was all the same except for instead of encounter role play, it was Andrew Armstrong from Dawn Forge Cast. So we are doing stuff like that. Our daily live chat we do. Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We've had tons of different creators on, and there's basically an open invitation for them to come on anytime they like. So we've definitely done some things with other people,
and look forward to doing so as we continue because none of that's going to change.
I mean, we had Shad from Shadversity on, we did a special evening
live chat,
which we try to stay away from, but it was Shad.
I think it was in Australia, so I think it was the morning for him or something
it was
crazy like that.
Something ridiculous.
It was nighttime for us. It was morning for him. Yeah.
We tried to sell him on the 3M live chat is for the hardcore, YouTubers, but he wasn't buying it.
But Nate was all giddy to get to meet him.
Well, I mean, when you watch a guy's channel for almost as long as it's been there, it's nice to be able to hang out and talk with him.
Yeah, now we just have to hit Australia on the world tour.
Oh yeah, just add it to the map that we've got going for places we need to go.
Yeah, so and we're talking about adding more games to Saber Dice. We're not there yet, but when we do, we're going to reach out to other creators and hopefully they'll want to hang out and play games with us. So the in-person stuff can be a little tougher because of traveling and stuff. I mean, we've done stuff with Maze Arcana. We've had a couple opportunities to meet with them in person. We did actually at Unplugged Thursday. I was able to meet up with Roan Barton and Lou Agresta. They're content creators and writers for Pathfinder material and third-party publishing, and they've got a huge project they're working on, which they're bringing in Sean Ashton and Wesley Snipes on the right for them for their Grimmer Space stuff. So that hasn't gone up yet, but it will be going up probably this week or next. So that's cool. So we try and collaborate with people whenever we can.
Absolutely. So if looks like we've crossed our threshold, do we want to start talking about these winners?
Sure. So I guess we should pull out the stuff that we're giving away.
All right. So as we've discussed before, we have the awesome Gnomeworks Nerdarchy box. Custom inside with spell trackers, hit point trackers, space for dice.
And that is one of two that has the Nerdarchy name branded into it.
So now, if you had gone into their Kickstarter, you could have whatever you wanted, custom made to your character or you personally, however you wanted to do it. But he made two boxes for us to have Nerdarchy on it, and we did the contest for it. And we got some names here to figure out who's getting what.
So let's keep them separate, just so we don't confuse people.
All right. So for that one, we have the winner is Techno65535. So I have the information of the email you provided. So I will email you later on today or tomorrow and get that information to be able to send that out.
Yep. Congratulations.
So thank you to Gnomeworks for sending us this way.
We also did a live chat with him, so you can find out as well on the site. And yeah, he was a fun guest to have on. I've never seen someone so passionate about woodworking.
Who didn't have any experience with woodworking a year ago.
Yeah, he just started doing it. And
he's into it.
I couldn't believe how into the chat was about talking about it, and he sucked us all into talking about woodworking for an hour. It was great.
It was good stuff. All right, so that's number one. And then as we've discussed multiple times, we got these bad boys.
All right, so I guess first we'll give away this standard cover.
This guy here. All right, so this is going to Andreas Barry.
Ooh,
and then we got this guy, which is going to Marcel Pulpit. So we're not so I've got the email addresses for those guys as well. We will reach out to, or I will reach out to them, grab a correct email, a correct mailing address, and send them off into the wide world.
Yeah, so we got one going to Germany and one going to Australia. So people often ask, do we ship overseas? And we absolutely do. Begrudgingly a little bit, but we do.
Or why Rollins cry a little bit.
Yeah. But we've sent to Australia a few times now. We've sent to the UK. We've sent to Germany.
We've sent to a lot of different places.
Yeah. So places I didn't even know were on the map. We just send stuff places.
Yeah, fun. So to the winners, congratulations. To those that didn't win, my regrets. But sadly, we don't have hundreds of copies to just send out into the world.
Otherwise, we'd make chairs out of them and sit in them.
I think I'd make chairs out of other things and send the stuff to friends.
No, throwing of Xanathar's guide. Think about it. You can't even imagine it. I know.
No.
All right, well, to each their own, Ted.
You can make it out of Xanathar's guide. I'll make it out of the skulls of my enemies. There's some more questions in there. I don't know if you've been following them, Nate.
Yeah, I've got some here. Let's see. When you're from Adam, when your party is headed towards TPK, do you alter the combat to prevent it, or do you just roll with the punches and evolve the story based on the death/capture? I
believe a somewhat successful YouTube channel had recently done a video on this.
Are you talking about us?
Moderately successful.
Having done my first TPK, I felt that I actually had some experience to actually, weigh in on that.
Now Ted is hooked. He will kill them all every time.
If it's one shot, they're headed for death, slated for death.
No, that's not that is not in any way, shape, or form my usual playing style. But when Roger, said that, doing a cool TPK would certainly be something that would be fun and interesting. And the fact that he is their normal DM, so to be able to bring his players in and indirectly have them killed was pretty amusing.
That's why he doesn't get his hands dirty.
That exactly right. So he actually, one of the players, she had never had a character death before. So he got to shove that off to me. Now we can kill her, and it's not going to be him that gave her first character death. It was all on me.
Well, it's kind of funny in my game because Megan already has her backup character, but then we had another player enter the game who was like, I guess, a paladin, and I guess our backup was going to be a paladin. So now she's got a different backup character, but she's like really into her character. So I found it odd that she's like making up a backup.
Maybe it makes the loss a little more palatable. You deal with it better when you're like, I've got another.
I could be wrong, but I mean, she's very much into the hobby. So as a lover of D&D, there's been many times that I've made characters just to make characters. And if you really get into something, it's like, all right, well, this will be the next thing that I do.
I want to say we played in your Thanksgiving Eve game, and you ran D&D in space. I really have trouble calling it Spelljammer when we do what we do. I feel like we're slandering Spelljammer somehow. But even my own game's included in that. But so I needed 2 10th level characters for this game, and I just want to say using D&D Beyond to do that was freaking hella fast.
Oh yeah.
We just burst out 2 characters so quick. My son, who's not really a very experienced player, I mean, he's been playing the last couple of years, but he plays like once a month.
Yeah.
With a couple of pickup games, so he has not made many characters. And for us to go through the process and make him a 10th level character in like 5 to 10 minutes.
It's pretty nice.
It was pretty easy. It was smooth.
Just put the pieces in.
Yeah, I like the clicking of the buttons. It does make life much easier. I mean, not that 5e characters are really that hard to make anyway, but it's so much easier when you just click a couple buttons and then hit print. But literally, like, there's a random feature, so you could even just like set your parameters and hit random. I considered doing that,
I wonder what it would give you. I wonder if it randomizes everything or makes like partially optimized characters.
It randomizes everything, and
like
I think I did, and this is the reason I didn't go with it. It was like it multi-classed like 3 times. It was, and I don't even remember. I don't even think they made sense.
Oh man, I gotta try that now.
I think we're gonna need to suggest that you can like toggle on or off for randomization, the multi-class feature.
Yeah, you can.
Oh.
I told you I toggled everything off.
Oh, all right.
I went full bore.
This is gonna absolutely be the most random character ever.
Yeah. It might have been better if I just went with like 1 class. But there is it's either multi-class or not multi-class. It's not like you could. I don't think there was a parameter you could set like
only
no
1.
more than 2.
Yeah, only 2.
No more than 7. That is it.
All right,
5
so
13s and a 15. That's what you end up with at 20th level. Multi-class.
So if anybody was looking for the game that I was supposed to run last night, I do apologize, but I think all but one of my players weren't able to make it last night, and as it turns out, I was double booked and didn't do either. So it was
that was kind of weird because I was supposed to run a game, and I could have sworn it was tonight and not last night. I'm like, we never do Friday nights, and And we did. It was in the calendar. Went back, totally goofed. I even got the notification like earlier. I put it on my Google Calendar. Got the notification. Said, this is weird. Why am I getting this? Oh, it must be something for Ted's game or something. You know, thinking of the game you run online for RPG Crate, and dismissed it. Well, soon after that, the Gobelos from my game, Cardboard Fortress, call and go, hey, we're in Ted's basement in the dark. No one's here. And we have tacos.
So I get home because my family went out for a couple hours, and if you watch our games that we play live, or games that we play here in my basement, I have these pirate coins that I hand out as inspiration. Well, they had opened up the container and put a message that said "Hi, Ted," made in these coins on the edge of my table, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well,
that's the most weird robbery ever.
So, no, I mean nothing was missing or whatever. And I'm like, did Dave do this before he left? Did Beth do this when she came down here when I was working? I was so flummoxed. But since nothing else was out of place, I just kind of like, oh well. And then I see the Facebook message that is like, oh well, the Gobelos were in my basement. I'll check that out. Oh well, it must have been them.
The high Ted spelled out in toy pirate coins is not the funniest or weirdest part of the story. The fact that Ted's like, oh well, someone came in my house and wrote my name and stuff and left. Could have literally been murdered. It doesn't matter. He's going to die anyway.
So the RPG Crate game is going to be run this Friday, and I think I got one player for it. So be on the lookout for communication, some way, shape, or form to make that happen, because we need to do it.
We need to play.
So what ended up happening? They came, they had tacos, they did a thing, they left because no one else was going to show up?
They ate the tacos, they talked on Facebook, they left.
Friday is a weird time to have a game, yeah.
Well, not for some people. It's just for us it is.
For Saturday, for our Saturday game.
Yeah, because they were so booked up. I wanted them to actually set up laser riders and leave that out. That would have been way cooler.
That's over there on the shelf. They could have grabbed it.
That's what I figured.
Well, I think maybe they thought perhaps going into somebody else's game shelf was a little too far.
That was their limit.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, don't touch another person's game shelf.
They made the game. I don't think that's a problem.
Oh, Doug is saying not optimized at all. He must be talking about D&D Beyond for the character builder. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's all random. Which, you know what? We should probably do roll call.
I think it's cool that it's there.
All right, so while you guys are sounding off for the roll call, we're a week away from December. So now is your last chance to get in on the Patreon rewards that we send out every month. To those of you who support us on Patreon, thank you so much. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without that. So Nate's going to read off what it is that we're doing.
So for the Mage Forge, we have the Black Ice Mirror Shards. For the Monster Menagerie, we have Fire and Ice, Ice Guardians, and Infernus. And for our Friend or Foe, we have a Shadow Death Knight, Alistar Darkwell. For Terrible Terrain, we have the Cold Heart Castle. And for Lost Lore, we have the Cold Elves, which is a race, culture, and organization.
Ooh. So we got Doug, our web and nerditor in Cleveland. We've got Kansas City in the house with Adam Foisey. We have Jose Suarez it just says but he's usually in Tampa, Florida. We got Poison coming to us from Kuwait, Everett, Washington with Leo. Ed does everything in Dallas, Texas. We've got Grinland, Tampa, Florida here. Murax, Louisiana is John Clark. We've got Sacramento, California with Ranger. That might have been Ranger Roy, but I'm not sure.
Ranger 1.
Ranger 1. That's it. That's what I meant. It's totally what I meant. We got New Brunswick with Canada with Ben Murchison. We got Regilio in Utah. We got Santa Fe, New Mexico in the house with Eduardo. Ventura, California with Jimmy McCoy. It's 85 degrees there in case you're wondering. It's actually pretty warm here today too. We got London, UK in the house with Nick. We also have Toronto, Ontario, Canada with Moon Girl. We got Montreal, Canada with Cryptopsy. We got Modesto. Ugh, can't talk. Sorry, guys. California with Kenny. Sean is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We've got Wow. So we got Jan coming to us from Slovenia. There is way too many J's in the first part of that for me to even think about pronouncing it. We have Jonas in Finland. We got California Turlock with Perink. See, we've got Boynton Beach, Florida with Mickey. We've got Bernie. God damn it! I need a drink. maybe alcoholic in nature. Birmingham, UK with Burgerless. We got Wilder Smith in New York. San Jose, California in the house with Sam. Colin is in Edmonton, Alberta. We've got Greenville, Texas with Baron. We've got Providence, Rhode Island with TM Junior 6. Brighton, Illinois with Patrick Harper. Sean, nope, saying howdy to a neighbor. We got Mesquite, Texas in the house with Yub Yub. We got Arkansas in the house with Fenris Sulfur. We've got someone fast forward past the roll call. Never. We got the Czech. We must be done. We have the Czech Republic in the house with Big Mac. We've got Dane from Minnesota, Chicago in the house with Joe, Hackensack, New Jersey with David, Seth with Garland, Texas, and we've got Brazil in the house with the High Priest. So we got people waiting from all over the world, and that is why we do ship international, because we appreciate everybody that hangs out with us here at Nerdarchy.
That's
you guys are amazing.
I think that's one of the most diverse roll calls we've had.
It's close, but there has been some that have been crazy during the week. I'm like, where are you guys all coming from?
What time is it there?
Besides, once you say that, then like the next one will be even crazier.
Okay.
So does the live chat go into extra time for the time spent on roll call? Sometimes it does, I feel like. It all depends.
Depends upon what's going on, both, on the camera, off the camera, who's the people that are there. Usually when it's just us, we try not to, because we got lots of stuff on the agenda today.
Yeah. So Colin, first time tuning in to the live chat. Awesome, brother. Welcome.
Welcome.
And for anyone tuning in, we already announced the winners to the contest, and we will be reaching out to them very shortly, like today or tomorrow or Monday.
Correct. Yeah, today, tomorrow.
So those emails will be going out. And also, like, I think if you flip back through the chat, you can see people had kind of put them in there and congratulated. And it was like, look for the congrats section.
Well, that's awesome of you guys to do that.
Yeah, we should get a moderator in there to do that.
Don't we have a moderator?
We do, but we didn't tell them to do it.
I think enough.
Moderators read our minds.
Think about the stuff that we want to have happen, and have it happen before we know that we want it.
Sean wants to know, Ted, where did you get the big red dice on the top of the shelf?
This guy back here. This is actually, I don't think it's available anymore, but this was from ThinkGeek, and it is a cookie jar.
I think it is available on ThinkGeek.
The last time I looked for it, it was no longer available.
Son of a monkey's uncle.
This is available from ThinkGeek.
Because didn't they have them on the table when we went down there and played?
They did.
But
they said they couldn't give us any.
But
I think it's because they're props storing meetings and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they don't have them anymore then.
And this comes with a top, but I didn't bring the top because I was like, yeah, they're just going to get broken while I'm trying to.
It's not a top. It's a cup hat.
Cup hat.
But
so is this the cup head then?
There is your answer. I got it from ThinkGeek, and you may or may not be able to find them on used markets
anymore. Yeah, and actually, if you go over to Saver Dice, any of the Saver Dice shows, there's always ThinkGeek affiliate links over there, so that helps support that show when you click and use those links. And actually, the folks over there at ThinkGeek were really cool to hang out with. They're pretty hardcore nerds and geeks and gamers.
Yeah. So sad I missed that.
And we saw
at
least one of them at PAX, didn't we?
Yeah, we Bianca. You got to meet Bianca, right?
Okay,
you were with us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and she played the best character, I feel like, in the game anyway. She was the one playing Harold the Bugbear, the Butler Bugbear.
Nice.
It was good.
It was really good. So there has been a lull in the chat. So there's no questions for us to answer. There might be a backup at the top.
Well, there's one I don't really get. Baron von Filth. Something about opinions on Sorkadin multiclass.
Sorcerer Paladin.
Oh my gosh, I just didn't understand it.
He did not comprehend.
Sorcerer, Paladin, multiclass. It depends upon what you're looking to do with it. If you're looking to get extra spell power to get extra smites, not bad. If you're actually looking to do more spell casting, I don't see why you'd want to mix Sorcerer with Paladin.
Yeah, well,
Paladins do count as spellcasters, so your overall spellcasting level would be up.
Yeah, but they're like...
Well, if you want to smite, why would you go sorcerer? Because if you're a sorcerer, you have meta magics, right? So to me, that screams I'm going to be casting spells. So I would go with a different spell casting class if I'm trying to get more spell slots to smite more often.
I looked at it, as you've got the ability to turn your sorcery points into more spells.
Yeah, well, I looked.
Then, should you wish, you've got extra spells that you can augment here and there with the things that a paladin might happen to use. So there's definitely a use, and sorcerer and paladin both use charisma as their casting.
So I had a good Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? I spent it with you. Can't freaking escape this guy.
Well, that's what you get for marrying my sister. Thanksgiving was good. I mean, I'm not usually the guy that stuffs himself, but I actually did so this year.
I'm a fat guy, and I pretty much stuff myself every time. Although I only did the one plate, but I made that one plate count. And they had bigger plates this year than usual.
My family went with the square disposable plates. So it's like, a foot by a foot.
Yeah.
And when you pile it up, you got to like concentrate on it, not folding and falling.
We had the oval. We had the oval paper plates.
Oval plates. Okay.
And I admit it, I went to a second level. One plate, but I went tiers. I did.
I'm boring. I didn't have a huge amount of variety, but I had a lot of what I did eat.
Well, there you go.
So mashed potatoes and turkey
and ham and rolls.
And rolls.
I just had a little bit of everything.
And whenever his son didn't finish for the rolls, I finished his too.
So Billy would like to know what is the question? What is the meaning of life? If you guys could get on that.
42.
Form. There you go.
That's already been said. Would you like to come up with another meaning?
For the Jose Cerez wants to know, at PAX, did you check out any of the live plays on stage? We did not actually.
We didn't see the live plays, but we did watch the improv GM.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of fun,
which was hilarious. We know half of the table, if not more so, and they told us that everything was entirely random. But yet, I would have sworn that things were set up.
It's meant to. Some things were just meant to be.
Because there were some things that were just like, no, how does that happen again? And you had to be there to know.
Sean says it is available on ThinkGeek, so you better hurry up, Ted. Go over there and use our affiliate link and order them.
Oh, the D20 mug is. The cookie jar is no longer available.
I just saw it is available.
Oh, okay.
Crush your dreams.
Why would you be crushing my dreams? I already have it. It's there.
Don't you want a second one to go over there?
Yeah. Why did you try and buy it then? You said you couldn't get it.
Because someone else was asking me about it.
Oh.
You did the research for them. What a good friend.
So John Clark, question. I know the CR system of 5e is but with the new info in Xanathar's guide, do you think it can be viable? It's less I think. It's closer to good than it was.
So it depends upon, I think the 5e challenge system is definitely better than the 3.5 because we said back in the day that they picked the challenge ratings by closing their eyes and throwing a dart at a board. But the actual encounter design system, I think the new stuff in Xanathar's definitely is more math involved, more things to figure out, but definitely goes more in depth and gives you a better solution than what's in just the DMG. And to get a detailed thing, look for Dave and my review later this week.
Yeah, probably Monday or something.
And I would say, as far as a CR system, it's kind of tough because you're going to have different play styles and different strategery going on with the different groups. So, I mean, if you've got surprise monsters, well, if everybody can deal with surprise because they're specialized towards it, then surprise monsters aren't a big deal. While another group might get totally murdered by surprise monsters that have surprise and ambush and things.
Yeah, if you get an ambush monster that gets the surprise off and then wins the initiative roll, things can go south. Whereas,
well, it depends what kind of surprise monster you're talking about as well, because in 5e you have ambush monsters. There's no roll; they just surprise you.
Right. Well, yes, there is,
unless you have alertness, and then you get to do initiative.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe not so much for the rest part. I don't know. I'll still eyeball it. It is a better system than what was there before. And as you said, play styles will greatly affect it, because like the way like me and Ted play games a lot of times is there's not a lot of counters. We might do 1 or 2 a night. So like, my players know that. So they'll nuke, that first encounter. Now, if I hit them with 2 or 3 that night, they're like, oh my God, they don't know what to do because they used all their best abilities.
Yeah, they didn't pace themselves.
Yeah. But that's kind of part of the fun too for me.
Yeah, every once in a while you got to do something like that, to push them and be like, oh well, you wind up slowing down on what you can do because you've already used all your big guns.
Yeah, there was a few times during the siege that we had in Ted's game, and we were just like, short rest, long rest, please. I'm out. We're gonna get murdered the next encounter if we don't take a rest.
There's actually a good question in here. The tension about the GM with new players. They seem interested, but only could get 1 to make their characters. What can I do? If you're playing with brand new players, your best bet is actually to have a character making session. Get everyone to the table. Like if they're new players and they might be excited, but then when you're like, hey, take this book and figure out a character, you may have just like pushed them away inadvertently because they're like, oh my God, how do I, like, they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. Do I have to read this whole book to make a character? Just get them together, get them in one spot. Here's some beer. Let's roll dice,
as long as
or
they're of
pick
age,
or whatever. Yeah, well, I'm assuming they're of age. So I guess that's always possible.
Or pizza and Mountain Dew or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the case may be. But yeah, just have a session 0. Make up your characters. Get them to talk about how their characters know each other, and how they're connected, and what kind of adventures they want to go on.
Figure out what interests them, in D&D or role playing in general, and what kind of stuff that they want to be able to do. I've known people that they get into the hobby and it's all about the thespian portion, where other people are, I want the combat. So, okay, well, if you got both of those types in a group, then you need to go middle of the road. But if you don't have the people that are really heavily into the role playing, and you got people that are designed more for combat, or that they enjoy the combat more, then that's where your planning should go.
There's a question in here, but I haven't seen anything for it, and there probably won't be anything anytime soon, especially if you're talking about Gestalt the way I know it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, Neil, any suggestions on reference to 5e Gestalt? Spellcasting rules. I've looked, I cannot find much. If you're, it just depends on what exactly you're talking about. If you're asking how does spellcasting work if you're multi-class, that's completely different than what Gestalt means to me from previous editions.
Gestalt in 3rd edition was you literally leveled 2 classes at the same time, getting access to everything. Now, if I remember correctly, if you did a full spellcasting Gestalt, you literally had twice everything. Now, I don't know how I would change that. I don't know if 6 and beyond you wouldn't do the double, because that's not what 5e is supposed to support. So if I were to seriously consider a Gestalt game, I would look at that you would have access to all the spells, but you wouldn't get double the spell slots. I hope that answers the question.
Well, it's just like if you were 2 fighting classes, you wouldn't do double the attacks, right?
Correct.
So very similar concept.
So, Master Marowak, no one in my group can ever really agree. These are my favorite kinds of questions, by the way. And some of them hate. So some of them hate that. What do I fix? So there's nothing really to fix. I mean,
have you considered mind magic? Have you considered seriously just altering their personalities to be more pliable? I think that's a good solution.
Yeah, anytime you get a group of people together, getting everyone to agree on anything is look at like you're like hanging out with a group of friends, like maybe a half a dozen, and you're like, hey, let's go get something to eat, and everyone's like, that's a great idea. I'm hungry too. What do you want?
Pizza, Chinese, Italian.
I don't know. What do you want? Like, you're not even that. Like, you even do 2 people, right?
Yeah,
like,
or making
just,
decisions.
Just do a couple. Like, hey, what do you want to go eat? I don't know. What do you want? Well, I don't care. What do you want? And like, me, I'm always like, I don't care what we eat. I eat everything. You're more picky than me. What do you want? Oh, I don't know. And then I'll say something like, I'm a dick. So I'll be like, well, let's go get sushi. Well, I don't like sushi. I know, but you asked me what I wanted.
And you're not making a decision.
I mean, you can have a conversation with that group and be like, hey, can we find some middle ground here? But like, if you guys always just disagree, that's probably going to be part of your group dynamic. Unfortunately.
So you have to either find a way to deal with that, find a way to correct it, or find a way to move on.
And it could be from player, like not having unity on the way their characters are made. So if their characters are different enough, maybe they won't ever really agree. Like you have a necromancer, a cleric of some light deity, and a paladin and assassin, and they're all hanging out together in this group. Those people aren't really going to agree. And if they do all agree, then some of them are lying that they agree. So just to get up on something later. So at that point, you're expected to have conflict within the group. But if you want to lower that, next time you guys are running a campaign, try and say, okay, can we all be in the same group? Or can we all be from the same order of whatever or guild?
Well,
to kind of have a big unifying, like an overarching unifying factor that'll like kind of funnel you towards certain, directions or choices.
Part of that's going to be, are the characters having issues, or is it the players having the issues? Because if it's the players, there's not a whole lot that you can do in game. It's all going to be out of game stuff.
Now, I want to say we got 87 people watching on a Saturday afternoon. That's awesome, guys.
Great,
and also, there's something special for you in the description below. If you happen to be a Apple user, an iOS user, we have a Nerdarchy dice app now that we are launching in beta, and we want your feedback on it. We want you guys to help us test it out and see what it needs. What do you want us to change? It's it's kind of a dice calculator that you guys can start using. It's free to download it. And give us feedback. Let us know what you think.
So you can literally do a D anything. So it's pretty awesome. You can add or subtract modifiers so that you can be like, oh, I'm going to roll my D20 plus 17. I hit the button. Hey, here's my total. It'll give you all the information. I think it's a lot of fun. As Dave says, it's in beta. So please give us any feedback.
Yep, absolutely. So we are past the hour mark, and my voice is failing me, and I still have videos to shoot. So with that, guys, until next time, stay nerdy.